Hi guys, how are we doing? It's Patrick here, Egg Not Poker. Today we're going to be doing our first video of a 100 NL Zoom, so we're getting there as we're climbing up to 102, and we're going to 100 NL was part of the was the highest part of our challenge, but we will also be doing some 200 Zoom in the next couple of weeks as well, in a couple of sessions, so stay tuned for that. Just very quickly again, a super fast shout out to everybody who's been liking, subscribing and commenting on the channels and the videos. Please keep doing so. It's helping tremendously to try and get this channel out there and allow other people to follow my journey just as you are today. So we're going to jump right in. Let's go for it. See if we can become millionaires. So as we're at 100 Zoom, we're going to be a bit more, a bit less exploitative and a little bit more theory orientated is part of our thought processes. So we're not going to be looking to do tremendous amounts of hero folding. We're absolutely going to be looking to bluff where we can, and we're absolutely going to try and play closer to theory as possible. So competition's most likely going to be a little bit more difficult than some of the other videos that we've been doing in some of the previous videos, so hopefully we're going to have some interesting spots. So we've already got a recreational player, as this 3-bet size isn't really a thing. We would be doing a decent amount of flatting and mostly, and some 4-betting, but mostly flatting. However, this small size, I wanted to start, I think, mainly 4-betting, especially against a recreational. And we will be looking to get it in. If you're like us, we'd take a hold. That'd be nice. Win the first one. And we win the second one. So it's a good start. Good start. Looking to open more like 7-9 suited, hands like that, as we're coming into the cusp of the cutoff. 8-5 suited. A bit cuspy, probably not quite in there. Maybe not terrible to open, but not the greatest either. If it folds around to us, we'll be defending the Jack 9 offsuit against a min open. Against multi-way, I'm just going to be folding. We've got a good price, but we've got a hand that's going to be really, it's going to be heavily diluted by the reverse implied odds, so just going to be pitching that one. And same with the 4-3 offsuit. Not going to be looking to be too crazy with our range on our opening ranges. Going to be pretty close to the chest with our ranges. Mostly folding the Jack 7 offsuit. Again, guys, if another quick thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel. Discord's getting a little bit bigger. We're growing slowly, getting a few more subscribers on the YouTube, and trying to get branched out a little bit, see how the algorithm does with us. But I've been enjoying doing the videos, and I really hope that you've been enjoying watching them. Again, as always, please put in the comments if there's anything that you would want me to do. Want me to play some lower stakes, or you plan to do some tournament sit and goes, any type of content coaching, like, please let me know. Ace Jack offsuit can do a very small amount of 3-betting. Hijack best UTG, we've rolled low, so we're going to pitch it. Mostly cool with some 3-bet in the big blind here. We've rolled low, so we're going to be calling. Good board for our hand. However, our range is annihilated by the buttons. No, maybe not our range. Excuse me, but the nutted parts of the range anyway. So we're going to be doing a lot of calling. Technically, we should be 3-betting aces, ace-king, queens, ace-queen, pure. Or very close to pure with hands like ace-queen. Turning ace-jack is always nice. Now we're beating a hand like ace-king. But again, I don't really want to be having any check raises here. Or not many at least, because our nutted part of our range just doesn't quite hit this board as heavy. Our best hand here is literally ace-jack. Again, now come to the position of we should absolutely be value betting this. We don't want him to check back king-queen or a hand like Maybe king jack, something like that. If I got here and I was betting, I would most likely be betting big, though. I don't think betting small accomplishes too much, as we would be betting here rarely, and when we do bet, we would be betting a bit bigger. So I'm going to go about 60%. See if we can get called by like king queen, king jack, something like that. Maybe even pocket nines. Pocket nines is in there as well. Potentially pocket jacks. I think if I wanted to value that, bet that river, I would go bigger. I don't think... We could potentially overbet, but I think that might be a bit of an overplay, considering we don't really have many hands that want to do that. 10-7 offsuit on a low roll, I'm going to pitch. I don't mind either, I think, at this level, but... Easy fold with the 10 deuce. The 9-10 can do a small amount of opening. We've rolled really high, so we're going to add it into an open. So we flopped absolutely nothing. No equity, but it's a pretty dry board. Not too bad for us. I don't mind adding this into a bet. I think we could do any size we want here between sort of 20%, 30%, 40%, something like that. Going to go with a really small bet to begin with. Most likely going to be doing a lot of barreling. So the king's pretty good card for range. It's going to limit some of the king X combos that he has. And we're going to have a bit more of a nut advantage with hands like ace king, for example. I don't mind villain's lead because his range is going to be a little bit more condensed. However, with a hand this low down, I'm going to try and attack it. See if we can fold out some of his, not so much semi-bluffs, but just weaker parts of his leading range, as we're so low down with ours. We do block a hand like king 10 or king 9 suited, which might flat sometimes. And considering we've taken the aggressive action on the turn, we're going to be continuing it because we're so low down. We literally have 10 high here, so this is one of the worst hands we're going to have. I don't think shoving makes a whole lot of sense because he's still going to continue perfectly with his decent king X, so I think we could have a couple of different sizes. I'm just going to take a large size and try and attack something like pocket eights. But I've timed out. Fuck. I've timed out while talking and allowed him to win with a 6, which is really embarrassing because we would have bet this river. Oh dear. That's really embarrassing. Fuck, we would have won as well, I think. Maybe we wouldn't have done, but I think we would have done. Fuck. That's really sad. We were going to bet the river as well. No. Sometimes we forget the time bank when we're talking. Oh no. No. I promise I was going to bluff that river. Pinky swear. See if we can make up for it with this one. We've got the Queen Jack suited. We will be doing quite a considerable amount of folding to 3-bets though. Queen 10 suited, Queen Jack suited are not the greatest candidates to be calling 3-bets out of position with in most cases. I think I'm going to go ahead and range bet this one. I think a small size would be fine. Interesting raise because villain shouldn't really have ace queen. Well, villain does have ace queen, but villain doesn't have aces, queens. The best hand he has here that would raise is literally deuces or ace queen at a very low frequency pocket queens. So we have an interesting spot because technically we are just ahead of some of his range, like king 10, king jack. So I'm going to go ahead and call. We're going to be checking the turn. Don't think I want to lead this. Potentially could have led. This is a really good river for us though, because turn, sorry, because we have pocket kings, we have ace king. We also have hands like jack 10. I now think our hand is not strong enough to just call because now we're losing to hands like king 10 if he does want to continue barreling. We're losing still to hands like ace deuce suited. I think I'm going to turn my hand into a bluff and I'm going to raise the turn and jam the river. Representing 10 jack, representing kings, representing ace king. Targeting a hand like ace jack, targeting a hand like king 10. Maybe ace deuce. Oh. This isn't really a thing, by the way. This is literally just Jack 10. That's really sad. But we block it, so... It's actually quite sad to see how appallingly tight this population actually still plays. I don't play a lot on 100 stars because it's just... It's beatable. It's just sadly so tight that with the rake it's just... No fish, all nit regs, and then a couple of good regs, and it just makes the games so horrible to play. It's just kind of frustrating to literally just get no value for most of your hands and then you just... basically just have to keep folding, which is kind of sad. Anyway, easy call. I don't think we're going to be doing any check raising with king queen and checking turn. Villain should be doing a decent amount of overbetting on turn, which is fine. This is just a candidate that is still strong and still beating some hands, but we just have all of our ace-x and above to defend this overbet with. So going to be folding the king queen, and I'm not going to be raising it either. Folding the 10-8s. And the jack 9. And opening our queen jack suited. Would have seen if we rolled a funky 3-bet with the queen 6 off in the blind, but we got folded through to us. Six four off, we're going to be folding. 5-6 offsuit, we would be rolling 50% for a defend. And the king 10 off's an easy fold. We're not going to be 4-betting that one. We can think about doing some 4-betting with some king jacks, some king queens, some ace jacks, etc. King 10's just a little bit too weak to be 4-betting. Again, guys, in the description is a link to my Twitch chat, the Twitch channel even, and my Discord server. So please, if you're enjoying the content and want to be looking out for more, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and please check out the links in the description below. Hopefully we can find a hand. Seems to just be folding a lot recently. Queen 10, a little bit loose to be opening ETG. I think Queen Jack off would be the lowest queen I'd be opening, unsuited. Ace 10 we will be playing. Oh, or not. Queen 10 suited. We can do some defending versus the button 3-bet. as with the blinds as well. Our hand's a little bit better to defend with against the later positions than it is the earlier ones, because our opponent's range is going to be a little bit wider and a bit more polarized, and our hand's going to do a little bit better against some of that, depending on the positions. See if we can get something going with the tens. Small blind can do some leading on this board if they want to. So this is a spot where most of our range is going to not, well, a decent portion of our range isn't going to hit this that much, and we have to be a bit careful against the small blind's continuing range. I don't mind going small or half on this one. I don't think going massive makes any sense. I'm going to go ahead with a small bet this time. Ace is a great card for our range, but not really our hand. However, we can still get value from hands like... let's have a look. So maybe a hand like 8-7 suited, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, some flush draws, etc. that aren't with the ace. I think we'd mostly be going between block and half on this turn. I don't think, again, going huge really makes too much sense. And now we've got an easy river check if our opponent checks to us, but they don't. So we beat flush draw combos that have missed. But then again, this is a recreational player, so we can just easily have hands that can defend this that are better than tens. I think it's just too easy for us to have a good hand here, and we're representing a really strong hand. Our opponent can still have 7-8, 6-8, any 5x combo, or an ace-x, but I'm just going to lay this down, I think. Not too thrilled. Maybe against a stronger opponent, I may have considered having a call there, but I think against a recreation, I'm just going to pitch. So we have a lot of other hands that can call there against a large size, but a lot of his range is going to improve on that river. Going to be 3-betting the ace jack suited. We would mostly be calling against the 4-bet and doing some 5-betting of our own. Going to be playing for another 5 to 10 minutes. See if we can get some any more interesting spots. Hopefully not timing out spots though. That was really sad. Feel like we cost ourselves 15, 20 bigs. Rip. That's a lot of cheeseburgers. I like our raise with the queen. Was it the queen 10 or jack or queen jack? I can't remember which one it was now, but I quite like our pair and gut shot hand, as our range gets so powerful on the turn. And then with our option to river shove, we actually got lucky, I suppose, if you think about it in a vacuum, because he raised the turn. He probably, I would very much expect him to only have value there, considering our blockers. And then saved us the other half of our stack, really, because we were going to shove the river. And I'm going to be pitching this table. Well, only table. We're only playing one table. So used to multi-tabling when recording. One thing that Stars is good is it's good at sharpening your game a little bit if you're taking the game very seriously, which I am, and doing a lot of studying and trying to focus on flaws and work for areas of improvement. Stars is a tough site, but it's just so tight. Like, very, very tight. So it's kind of like people might overfold a bit and overbluff a bit in spots, but they don't like calling down. That's one thing. And also there's just a massive, severe lack of recreational players. And the recreational players that you find just don't put a lot of money in. Like, you need to be really good, really, really good in order to make any kind of win rate worthwhile playing, that you're not just grinding for just rake back alone, which isn't even great in this day and age anyway. Very small amount of 3-bet with 7s. We rolled 15, so we're going to defend, and I'm going to be check calling this board. But hands like sites like GG, AAA, Party Poker, etc., I think are better than easy check turn. Yeah, far better to play on than than stars if you're thinking about playing cash games. If you're looking at improving, you know, again, it's probably a better site to play on. Sevens here, I think I would probably mix between call and fold. I think I'd prioritize calling with a heart in my hand, so then I can have some options on rivers. I think I'm going to slightly favor folding, even though this is a bit of an overfold without a heart. Because we're just going to get blasted on rivers, and also as a bit of an exploit, the regs at this level tend to mostly check ace highs, king highs, etc., and queen and hands that have a lot of like ace king queen x in them. Check back flops that are low and then bet their pairs on the turn. Excuse me. So I don't mind exploitatively folding without a heart there, and then maybe continuing more with a heart, even though we are kind of technically overfolding there. But it's okay. If we know our opponents are going to mostly bluff rivers, then it doesn't really matter anyway, to be honest. PokerStars, we can do a bit of mixing if someone opens between folding, 3-betting, and calling. Or it's an easy open on the button anyway. I don't know if I want to add fives into a betting range against a recreational. I feel like a recreational is going to be a bit wider than they should be, and they're going to be calling a bit more trigger happy. However, it's going to be very difficult to play otherwise. I think I'm just going to add this to a check, because I know I'm going to hit a 5 on the turn, obviously. Facing check. Now I think I'm mostly going between large and half. I don't think overbetting's that effective here. No, I'm going to stay relatively true to form. Can still bet some hands like pocket 9s, 8-9, jack 10, etc. I don't think I'd have to overbet or bet huge on the turn. So no need to go too crazy. Hopefully get some action with the ace-king. If we get 3-bet, we are going to be looking to do a bit of power plays and some shoving. Versus recreational, I'm just all steam ahead. Now I've got a value hand. I'm not betting small with range. I'm just going to go ahead and bet a bit bigger. Hope this guy's got hands like king-jack, king-queen, things like that. I'm a little bit cautious on the turn, even though we have the nut flush draw. Now we're losing to flushes and king-jack, but that's not going to stop us betting. In theory, you would still bet relatively large here. I think exploitatively, I don't want him to fold like 9s with a diamond, so I'm just going to block. We could also just go big. It's okay. As long as we don't overbet, it's basically fine. Because our hand is absolutely strong enough to call a raise, isn't it? It's just against a recreational who may be sort of humming and ahhing about calling with a very, very marginal hand, weak hand. I want to keep them in. I don't want to bottleneck them into having really strong hands or nothing. Mostly checking, I think, here. Don't think I'm going to be range betting this board too often in the cutoff. Pick up a gut shot and a pretend flush draw. Don't mind calling or raising if your opponent leads. I don't mind checking or betting. I think I'd prefer betting and calling a raise though, just because it's going to be quite hard to win this pot if it goes check check. And he leads. Try to think of sizing. I think if I was going for a delayed c-bet, I would probably go for around half pot. Screw it, let's go for a 30-minute video. Another 7 minutes. Let's get some volume into this one. I feel like I need some more hands to make up for my atrocious timeout, which is really funny. I was so busy talking about my own strategy and monoggin to you guys that I completely forgot I did not have a time bank available, which was quite funny. So, see if we can get a few more hands in to make up for that. And we're absolutely not going to be editing that one out. We're absolutely going to keep that in because, well, mistakes happen, right? And it's good to be honest. Queen Jack off against the cutoff. Oh, this is absolutely a 3-bet most of the time against the button. I am debating whether or not. This guy doesn't really fold to 3-bets by the look of it. So I think I might just pitch this one. Mostly folding on the ace-10 offsuit against UTG. I believe there's a small amount of 3-betting. I think ace-jack off performs better when you start 4-betting against those positions. Going to be defending the 6-3 suited, defending mana in the cutoff. Will not be 3-betting this though. This is actually a bit thin to defend with, but it's okay. Flopping a flush draw, which is a good start. I'm going to mainly be playing a check call, I believe, with the lowest flush draws. Also, we don't have hands like jacks and tens that often. And easy call. Turning a pair. We will not be going anywhere. Don't think we're going to be check raising either, because we still beat some hands. We still beat some ace queens. We still beat some king 5 of clubs. We still beat some... We don't beat loads of hands, but we beat some hands still. Against pot, we're not loving it, but we've still got a pair and a flush draw, so we will be calling. And we're going to be checking the turn. A lot of villains, some of villains' bluffs have improved, and villains' value range has also improved. Hands like king jack, kings have improved. All queen x bluffs have improved. I could potentially consider leading here, but I think villain's got a lot of bluffs that contain a queen as well, and we're blocking some of his club folds. I'm just going to let this one go. I think it's a check. I don't think leading here makes too much sense. We could theoretically still beat a hand like ace 7 of clubs, ace 8 of clubs. That might check back. So I think we should be playing this as a check. Also, villain's going to have a lot of hands like ace queen, queen x of clubs. Or just offsuits, sorry, non-club x combos as well that are going to make straights. So I don't mind. I would be surprised if the solver does do some leading, but I think in this situation, I think it's going to check. Don't really know what he's tanking with. He's probably got a hand... I reckon he's almost specifically got a hand like ace x of clubs that's non-paired, if I had to guess. Ace 7 of clubs, ace 8 of clubs, and he's debating whether to jam it or not. Or to bet the river with, maybe. I'm going to go with ace 8 of clubs. Ace deuce of clubs. Well, that means our check isn't complete toilet then if we do beat some hands. I was going to say, well, I did say that we do beat some non-paired nut club combos, but probably the thing is when we're leading there, like again, I want to check that one actually, but I wouldn't be surprised if I do some leading there, because I'm probably more likely to contain more like mid pair, bottom pair, and open enders with a queen than some of his value range. Like he's going to have some more sets, he's going to have some more 2 pairs, and then I'm going to be a little bit more, or at least mostly weighted towards those combo type hands with a queen. So I wouldn't be surprised if he would do some leading there for a large size. I don't think it would shove, I think it would just do a large size. But problem is he's got the hands like ace queen, he's still got some top pairs with a queen, he's got king queen still from the flop. I don't know if he's going to fold sets to a large bet. Interesting one. I might have to sim that one and put it on the comments, because our hand doesn't have any showdown value, but we block some of the clubs, but we're very low down, which means you probably... I'm debating whether I should have led. Oh, it's going to drive me mad. Let me know what you think in the comments as well. I'm kind of debating whether I should have led, but it's for another day. We'll sim it and we'll put it in the comments. Doing some raising here. We've rolled 27, so I'm going to call. And we could also potentially do some leading, but I rolled a 6, so we're going to be checking. I think we do a lot of leading on this turn, actually, just because we have such an advantage. And a condensed range and stop him checking back, like overs, etc. I think we have a mandatory value bet against a hand like 8s or 7s or ace 6 or something like that. So I'm going to be doing some betting. I don't think block's sufficient. I think about half pot's good, just to try and disincentivize him from bluffing. Also, we still lose to some hands, right? He could still easily just have a hand like ace 10, for example. So jack 10, so on. That may not have bet the turn. What do we get called by? We get called by ace high. So I think ace high cooldown's a little bit dodge for half pot. I think if I'd bet smaller, I would have preferred a call. But then again, I do have a decent amount of bluffs there, so it's not terrible, I suppose. He's a good reg, so maybe if I bet half pot there, it's probably the wrong size if he's cool with ace high. We rolled low, so we're going to be calling the 9s in the bottom. Hoping our opponent doesn't go for large sizes. It's one thing you tend to find, which is refreshing at a stake like 100 and L and above, is people just a little bit more clued up. They understand when to check, they understand when to bet small, they understand when to bluff, etc. So, unfortunate turn, because it's going to mean we're probably going to be continuing, because he's going to be double barreling a large amount of his range. Turn check's interesting. I think we could mix between betting and checking here. We can easily still be behind. Villain has all ace X, 6s, 7s, and then over pairs above ours, so like 10s, jacks, queens, kings, and then all ace X traps. Going to check on a 13 and then play some rivers. Question will be whether we're betting river versus a check. So this is very close, because again, we're still losing to a lot of hands. Obviously, we're folding to check raise, but we only really get value from 8s. So I'm going to check this one back. I was going to say we're most likely going to win, but because he should really be betting the better pairs. But I think the only hand we're really truly getting value from in a spot like that is something like specifically 8s, maybe king 7 suited. But again, it's like if those are the only hands we're looking to get value from, and we may not get them as a call, even though they should really, then I'm not too upset about checking back. It is a bit tight, but it's one of those spots, isn't it? It's not really like a slam dunk bet if we're happy. We might even just get called by better, so we'll see. So we're just over 30 minutes, so I'm going to put us out on the next big blind, and then we'll be done. A couple of interesting hands with this one, for better, for worse. See if we get another hand or two before we're done. We've rolled high, so we're going to add 9-10 offsuit to a cutoff opening range. We get recreational call, which is a good start. Although, pretty terrible board. Flop absolutely no equity whatsoever. However, I think we're mostly just going to be range betting this board. It's just so good for our range. The only problem is we just have a hand that has no equity and we're multi-way. If I had at least one spade here, I'm a bit more thrilled. I think against two opponents we're going to get too many calls. I think we're just going to check this turn. Not too thrilled by going too mental. Maybe if we were UTG or hijack, we might just range bet and then go from there. I'm going to pitch this one. And there we are. That's it. So, again, thank you so much for the support so far, guys. Please like, please comment, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link for the Twitch and Discord is in the description below. And again, see you in the next one.